Welcome to our overview of first grade structure, function, and information processing. In this unit, students are expected to develop an understanding of how plants and animals use their external parts to help them survive, grow, and meet their needs. Students will observe that all organisms have external parts, and that different animals use their body parts in different ways to see, hear, grasp objects, protect themselves, move from place to place, and seek, find, and take in food, water, and air. Students will also understand that plants have different parts: roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits that help them survive, grow, and produce more plants. In later lessons, students will see how the behavior of parents and offspring help the offspring survive. Students also develop the understanding that young plants and animals are alike, but not exactly the same as their parents. Lesson 1 uses the leveled reader How Plants and Animals Live to introduce students to the idea that animals and plants have certain characteristics that help them survive, grow, and meet their needs. This lesson also introduces the animal adaptation chart that will be used in lessons 1 through 4. This chart allows students to examine the characteristics of different animals and explain their purpose. Students will need to reference this chart in Lesson 15 as they use materials to design a solution to a human problem by mimicking how plants and/or animals use their external parts to help them survive, grow, and meet their needs. Lessons 2 and 3 include two separate resources: an activity flip chart where students are constructing a model to show how a porcupine's quills protect it from predators, and text allowing the students the opportunity to further examine the characteristics of animals that were introduced from the leveled reader in Lesson 1. Students should continue to complete the animal adaptation chart by using evidence from the text to describe the characteristics that promote survival and growth. Students complete the animal adaptation chart in Lesson 4 by being introduced to different animals and how they use their characteristics to grow and survive in their environments. As you complete this lesson, it might be beneficial to have students select one animal from their adaptation chart and share their ideas about how the characteristics of the animal might be used by humans. Students were introduced to the idea that animals and plants have certain characteristics that help them grow, survive, and meet their needs in the leveled reader How Plants and Animals Live. Using the plant adaptation chart in lessons 5 through 8, students will examine the characteristics of different plants and explain their purpose. Students will again need to reference this chart in Lesson 15 as they use materials to design a solution to a human problem by mimicking how plants and/or animals use their external parts to help them grow, survive, and meet their needs. Lessons 5 and 6 include two separate resources: a guided inquiry where students are investigating how adaptations in leaf shape allow some leaves to dry more quickly than others, and text that allows students to begin to complete the plant adaptation chart by using evidence from the text to describe the characteristics that promote survival and growth. With the guided inquiry, you may consider having students use their observations to design and test a third leaf that dries the quickest. Lessons 7 and 8 again uses two separate resources to allow students to investigate how different adaptations allow a leaf to hold water for a longer period of time. This series of lessons includes the leveled reader Many Leaves that introduces students to leaf structures from various habitats and how that structure is used to promote survival and growth. Students should again use evidence from the text to describe the plant characteristics that promote survival and growth while completing the plant adaptations chart. Also included with this set of lessons is a short supplementary video from Discovery Education, which further showcases leaf adaptations. Students can use evidence from this video to help complete their plant adaptations chart. Lesson 9 focuses on how an animal's adaptation helps it survive in its habitat. This lesson includes two resources to help students focus on survival. Pages 62 through 67 review adaptations and introduces the term camouflage. In the video, Exploring the Diversity of Life, not what they seem, further explores how camouflage and mimicry are used by organisms to survive in a habitat. In this unit, students are asked to make observations to construct an evidence-based account that young plants and animals are alike, but not exactly like their parents. And the text in lessons 10 through 13 allows students to collect evidence and examine how generations of plants and animals are alike and different. Using the leveled reader, Living Things Grow and Change, students continue to examine how young plants and animals are alike, but not exactly like their parents. We see from the clarification statement that examples of observations could include leaves from the same kind of plant are the same shape, but can differ in size. A particular breed of dog looks like its parents, but is not exactly like its parents. The assessment boundary specifies that students should not focus on inheritance or animals undergoing metamorphosis, such as the life cycle of a butterfly or frog. In How Can Fur Keep Animals Warm? Lesson 15, students are exploring how fur helps provide protection against the elements. This activity is intended to support students in using materials to design a solution to a human problem, being cold, by mimicking how plants and/or animals use their external parts, fur, to help them survive, grow, and meet their needs. As you are planning this activity, you might think about having students brainstorm their own solutions to being cold using the provided materials before sharing the textbook procedure, and having them revise and retest their designs to maximize heat retention, the ability to stay warm. The materials for this unit have been included within your material kit and are outlined here on this slide. As you are planning these activities, please feel free to contact us with any questions, to request support, or share any ideas.